And I am live. Hey, what's up? It's me, Jim. Back again. Hello. I'm waiting to see. Can you hear me? And I am live. Okay, there we go. I heard me. You heard me. Hear me. And we are here at Movie Crap Live, doing a live stream. Somehow, I don't know. I mean, I started it. But thank you, Cornbread, that you're the one helping the show out right there. Thank you. Okay, hello to Austin, Wandon Nadi, I think, Sinram, Ramsey the artist, Nathaniel Foga, Purple Goop, JJ Pander, the Rude Boys podcast, Yo Showtime. I don't know why I just read that like it's a name. Major Makazawa, Javier Portillo, K-Master, Chan Talks More Movies, Nathaniel Foga, Bloxy Oxenwinkle. Did I get everyone? Whoa. Okay. Sorry. I had a burst of energy. Wait. Oh, shit. Okay. We're okay. Don't forget to post some MySpace. Ryan Walter said Metro. The Rocket Lomax. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I should switch. I have a good energy drink this time. I think you're going to like it. Jacob Shelter. Yeah, the strike's never ending. Okay. People like the yogi thing. Okay, I was worried because I was sort of negative. Hello, Adrian. Hello. Okay, let's switch over. Let's do the thing. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm in this room this time for reasons. I said Adrian. I thought I said okay. You're. There's a delay, obviously. All right. Yeah, it has been. I missed someone. I missed you, cornbread. There you go. Anyway, man, it is good to do this show. Oh, thank you. I don't know. You guessed it. That's a good name. It is really good to do the show. It has been a crazy ass month. But I have my Mystery Science Theater. Hold on. I want to have the right thing. I have my Mystery Science Theater shirt that I got for my rewards. I also have a popcorn. But I meant to get those, and I don't have any of my things behind me. Whatever. I didn't think of that. I was thinking of the show too much. Yeah, see how well, this is like the kid area, and I don't show the rest of it. I don't want to move it because I have it all set up. Anyway, we're here. Yeah, it has been a not fun month at all, because I mean, it's been good. Kids are good. But getting COVID like the weekend after the last stream, then right after other people in my family got sick, and then that parlayed over several weeks, and it just kind of stopped everything in its tracks majorly. And then even like this week, there was something. There was like someone had to do work in our kitchen. There was like dust everywhere. I had to clean the whole kitchen. There so many stupid things. Like I was gonna have Death Clock on Friday, the review of that, but like there was a problem with a drive that I then fixed. But then I was like, I don't even have. I had Yogi Bear more finished. It just like so many. I'm sure I'm forgetting things, but I'm still in it. I'm still going. I wanted you guys to know that stuff. That's there. I think August got kind of fucked up because I took time off for my birthday, and then I got sick, and then Oscar's birthday got messed up because it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. But I don't want this to be a complain thing. But a good thing is I got a lot done in the cartoon, which is awesome. I got the Yogi Bear shit basically happened because I just kept working on it because I was like, oh, well, I'll just keep doing this because I never had time to shoot Death Clock. I did. So thankfully, I'm like, have a good flow to it. But I think a lot of the things with doing the arts is just like keeping going and going. Like, you can get bummed, just have another beer and keep that shit flowing. Because I think when I was a kid, I knew the arts were hard and stuff, but this was like very testing this past month. And a lot, I feel like this has been a very figuring shit out. But we're good. I have a cool energy drink. I actually found a bunch of cool ones from this, I'll just say it, a dispensary near work. And I saw in their fridge because that's the only reason I was there. And I saw in their fridge they have a lot of cool, fun energy drinks. So I think for the next few, as long as they stay open, because some closed, kind of a weird thing that's happened in New York, I will have them. But I'm not going to reveal it. I'm sorry. I think I'm allowed to. But yeah, so there's a couple things in here. Sorry, I wanted to respond to before. I'm not going to do the new Adventure Time just because I don't have time. Same with the Looney Tunes University. I have nothing against them or anything. I am going to do a review of My Adventures of Superman. I haven't read it or watched the last one, and I want to go over some of my thoughts on it and do a little research and stuff. That will happen. I want to say that. Yeah, I don't know. I have things actually shot, like the Death Clock review is shot. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is shot. Last Action Hero, Past Lives. I need to get those done. So, shit's happening. But you didn't come here to hear Jim's complainy show. Yeah. Anyway, I wish I had vodka. I don't think you'd like a show with me with vodka. It would just be me eventually just laying down and looking at you guys. And that would be the whole show. That wouldn't be a fun show, would it? I don't think it would. Also, actually, thank you, Austin, for bringing this up. So when I was sick and dealing with a lot of stuff, I have to legitimately say, this made me happy. Austin and Ryan Walderson met up at a convention. They can clarify I was not there, obviously. I came, thank you, Robinson Knox, came from the Jim's Complaining Show. And they met up, and in the video, he said, like, Ryan pretended to be Salty DK Dan. I actually do know I have met Salty DK Dan in the New York Comic-Con video, but it made me laugh a lot. I will say that was fun. I gave me a big smile, and and then Salty retweeted it. I think we'll see. But yeah, it was funny retweeted. But if he does do Alf, that'd be pretty hilarious. This Alf thing has become so much more. I really got a snowball going. But yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Oh, I know people have been asking me this. I saw Dungeons and Dragons. I shot a review that should come out soon. That was one of the things I did during COVID. But anyway, what else was I going to say before we continue? Okay, the segments. There's 3 segments tonight. The reason for that is there's not a ton of news, and I feel like we could do that. 2 of them are basically things that were helping me get through this insane month. One being Kiri and Lou, which I have legitimately wanted to make a segment on for a while. And I'm like, fuck it, we're doing it. And Beavis and Butthead really was like my stress reliever show, the reboot. So I'm going to talk about that, as well as the Batwheels Adam West thing. So, anyway, I should start the show, but I'm excited to show you the energy drink, but not yet. We'll wait I don't want to e-beg or something. I'm just saying there's a surprise. I think you'll be excited. Anyway, yeah, I'm thinking anything else cool. Well, it's not a me thing, but I guess the cat's been out of the bag that Sophie is going to be in Recess Therapy, that show. Yeah, if you saw my Instagram, she did a thing with Millie Bobby Brown. I'm not sure when that's coming out, and she's going to be in a separate one that they've also shot. So they're very nice people. I will say legitimately, all of them, the guy is exactly like he was on those videos. Like literally, I've met YouTube people, and like Saber's not exactly like those videos, but he's like, he's a normal dude actually. But but like there's a difference usually. Like when I meet Salty and I watch a Salty video, it's different. Everybody, and these guys were legitimately like the same you'd expect them to be. Basically, Recess Therapy. If you know the Corn Kid, they did the Corn Kid. Just look them up. She's not on it yet. When she is, I will share it and all that stuff. So, but I thought I didn't want to like not acknowledge that. But they're very nice. They're very nice people. We'll see what they used from it. Sophie was her usual. You know she is. And is that everything? Should we move on? Should we move on from it? Oh, I guess I watched Spider-Verse again, Across Spider-Verse. And let me say this. That show, that movie, works a lot better on a second viewing as a whole movie because I think you've all seen it, right? But the whole movie, it's like, this is the path you're going to take. We're trying to guide you. This is the choice you have to make. And he's like, nah, I'm going to do it my own way. And then he does it his own way. And instant fucking disaster. I was like, oh man, that happens to everybody too. That's really funny. That's really funny. When I was like, that is a complete narrative, isn't it? It doesn't feel like a half a thing. It's oh man. Anyway, Across the Spider-Verse still good. Ninja Turtles still good. Barbie still good. I rewatched all of them. But I mean, it's such a, I don't know. The thing with Across the Spider-Verse is there is so much beautiful shit going on. It's like I think both times I watched it different ways, but I gotta say, release that thing in IMAX, and if you ever have a chance to see that in IMAX, and I know it's not covering the whole frame, and you'll be like, wait, where's the frame? Like, shouldn't it fill up the whole thing? It is so beautiful on such a big screen. If you can ever see it in like a huge screen, do it. It's still great on any screen, but it is like, I still dream about it. It was up there with IMAX experiences with that, Speed Racer, Ghost Protocol. I would say the one sequence in The Walk. And those are probably my top IMAXs. Oh, Gravity. Fucking Gravity's underappreciated. All right. What's it like living in your Mojo Dojo Casa house? That is a good movie, but kids were running around. That was a wild experience. All right. Let's get into it. I'm just going to drink this water. Okay. So this, I'm sorry, I'm going to do the thing, and I will stop it. I don't mean to bring it up too much, and I apologize, because but this is the part of the show we do this, so then I will stop bringing it up. But I think you'll like it. That's all I'm saying. I was excited for this. I'm stupid. All right. So this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through my Patreon or through Super Chats during the show, where I drink whatever that is over there. And then I will read off your thing and answer your question or say whatever. Or the Patreon, which has all sorts of cool stuff like postcards, which I will be mailing out next week. More power in the movie review vote. I'm actually making like more customized images from Film Route Video. There's probably going to be a Halloween picture that is going to go out. You get exclusive stuff like that. There's going to finally the commentary of Ride with a Stranger. I am going to record this next week. And all sorts of cool stuff. It also helps me promote the show, get word out there, get equipment, get stickers. I have promotion plans for the new cartoons that money will go to. So, thank you very much if you're financially able to do so. But even if you're not, just liking this stream, liking any video, subscribing, you get all sorts of cool stuff like the throwback videos, which I do occasionally because I have thousands of videos. So just to be like, oh, hey, think of this, stuff like that. So thank you very much if you're financially able to do so. If not, just thank you for watching. Hello, a guy named Crystal. All right. Also, you should check out my Discord, which is run excellently well by Austin and Zane Powers. It is a great. Sorry, dropped something. It is a great Discord. It's probably my favorite. It's the only Discord I'm really on that much, and it has all sorts of stuff like Friday movie nights. It has the licensed playing cards channel where I show off these. I have my the playing cards for Spirit Away. The Ask Jim, where I do get to answer everyone's questions. Sometimes it takes me a while. But they do watch parties. They do all sorts of cool stuff. If you are watching this and you're like, I like hearing all these people's names and hearing them in the chat, and I'd like to hang out with them, but I can never make the show. Guess what? It's there all the time. They do daily questions. They do all sorts of cool stuff. So join it if you can. The link is the description below. You should check out my Instagram, both personal and the Jim Rout video. There is my Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr, Facebook fan page. All that shit is there. I think that's everything for that. And I won't. Anyway. All right. So I want to get into stuff, but the first thing I want to mention, and I'm going to bring it up early in the show, is the strike because it has so much to do with later things. So I just want to say the reason I am doing this first is because this is like, if this is a movie, this is the exposition, because to go through the rest of it, I'm probably going to bring up other things about the strike, but I want you to know where that is, because it's just like, it's an overarching thing over everything. And we should probably just do this at the beginning so I don't have to like keep going back to it and stuff like that. So where are we at? No one has met with anyone in a month, and this sucks. That's basically where we are. They are now negotiating. This is not a joke when I said this. They are negotiating on when to negotiate. That is where we are right now. I will get into the Drew Barrymore stuff a little later. And you might be surprised on what I'm going to say for that, but there are reasons for that. People are really hurting right now. People are really are leaving town. People are really struggling. We are on day 130. Things are not looking great. If they do not settle soon, and I'm not trying to be extreme. This is what I've heard from other podcasts, other things. If they do not settle soon, there will be no production this year. No more production this year. And they'll have to do major delays with movies if they don't settle very soon. Also, the VFX, someone's bringing VFX. VFX is probably going to do a strike. Other unions are probably going to strike. This is a colossal failure on the part of these studios. Why they don't just handle this at this point is fucking ridiculous. There's nothing really to say that makes you too surprised. But it seems like WGA is going to go first, and then SAG is the kind of thing. Most people are hoping it would be solved by Labor Day. It's looking like January, and there's a lot of people who are going to have to make some tough financial decisions. And the other thing, and I think this is a major thing that people are not talking about, and I do think Twitter is not a good place to be hearing about the strike, because it's like, I support the WGA, but they're kind of like all for one for all kind of shit is just skewing the perspective on this to such a degree. It is not the same industry that they're going to come back to. That is just a fact at this point. It is not going to be the same industry. There are going to be less jobs. There's a tightening of the belt that was already happening. That is not because of the strike, but it is just the fact of the matter. So there are a lot of people who will be done with the strike and come back and go, oh shit, I have no money and there's nowhere to get more money. So I'm here to tell you that this is bad, and there is the potential that it could just continue being bad, and that's where we're at, basically. There are a lot of people who are not writers who are basically having to leave LA or New York because they have no money. Several people who even make other movie content are complaining about how they're barely being able to afford things. This is why they do not make a fucking deal at this point. I have no clue. Wall Street doesn't get it. Wall Street is the money people. The money people who you think would be for them are like, what is wrong with you? What is going on? Bob Iger sucks now. I mean, he probably sucked before, but this is a fucking mess, and everyone's hurting except for the executives who are lying their way out of it. I don't know how long they can continue this the way they're doing, but that's where we're at. This is really sad. I'm sorry. That's the news. That is what's going on with it. I'll just go. I was going to do Miyazaki, and now I feel like I should talk about it. All right. So on that front, the Drew Barrymore thing. So I was not super... I don't love that everyone was super against her for a variety of reasons. But one of which is, there are two reasons, and most likely when I said how everyone's hurting and it's not going to be the same industry. One is, she has 3 writers who are WGA on staff. Everyone else on that crew needed to get paid. Now, could she pay them? Legally, it gets into this weird thing with that, apparently. And it is not her, even though it's her show, it is the production company's job to do that, not her. And I don't know her actual financial situation. I'm sure Googling her is not like a real... hello, Michael Howard. A real thing. But basically, like, she knew, like, all her crew is hurting and they needed money. The other thing, and this is the reality to it, is she's a syndicated show. If she does not make episodes, the channels she is on, each of the different networks and different markets, will just get rid of her. That is a fact, basically, of these contracts. Why she's getting more picked on other than Jennifer Hudson's show or The View or Regis or Kelly and Mark, I think, I have no clue. She should have presented her job better as like, look, I'm going to lose the show. And if I lose the show, these people just don't have jobs, basically. So I kind of agree with keeping the show because there are going to be less jobs and less opportunities for people rather than trying to not do the show. Contractually, by the way, SAG agrees with the contractual stuff. She might just have to do this. So I don't fully know. I think she should have said, look, if I lose the show, these 3 people don't have jobs to come back to. I'm very sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I believe in maybe staffing minimums and I will hire more writers when I'm able to. I think that would have been a better thing to have said. Basically, like, everyone's hurting and like, what if she gets to keep the show, but her crew has all left town and she has to hire a new crew and start over with training and give her there wasn't really a way for that show to, in the situation it's in, to do what it is. I don't agree with that. It's like she's being a scab. I think that is simplifying a very complex situation where it's like, well, my lighting guy's going to go to South Carolina and just like run a bar. And like my mixing guy is going to go on tour with a band and they're going to find other shit. And I like these people and we have a good rapport. And if I fuck this up, I also will lose the show and then it's all fucked up. So that's, Bill Maher is different. He's on HBO. He could have just not done that. Bill Maher is not in the same boat as Drew Barrymore. The late night shows aren't. But the last strike, they asked them, so the pins thing, I will explain that. That basically, I don't know what happened with that fully, but they weren't writers. They were like kids, and you had to literally cross a picket line, which, but I think they shouldn't have done that. They should have said, could you just please, or put them, to me it's like, I would have just said, let's just put them in the back. like just put them off camera. I just think that was sort of dumb. But anyway, there will be a certain point where CBS will be like, Colbert, you got to come back or we're canceling this shit. And there will be, like Conan had to during the last writer's strike. These things will happen, but it is different. And I know this is a much different strike and more severe, but that is the only reason I'm like, she is under a very different set of circumstances. And if she loses half her stations, that show's less profitable. And she can't like do a staffing minimum, or she can't do a certain thing, and she'll have to fire people and stuff like that. So I think she handled it poorly, and she should have not done it like the week before. But I also think it's like, you know, there are other shows that are syndicated that are not getting the shit, and that's not fair either. So I just think it's like we have to have some industry left, and like shrinking it even more is not something that I think is what we need right now. So I don't like people being scabs, and I don't like people crossing picket lines, but if like what people are, I mean, I'm not part of these unions obviously, but what people are striking, if what they're striking isn't there anymore, I don't know if like that's really work, you know. It's like, she should hire more writers. I would have just said, here's what it is, we will hire more writers. I'm very sorry, I just had to do this for financial reasons, and people can say, oh, she's worth all this money according to this person who doesn't have access to her bank account or anything. And, you know, she could have just, you know, I wanted to keep my crew together and I was going to lose the show if I didn't do it. So she should have handled it better. Unlike, you know, Ashton and Mila or all the other celebrity controversies, I think she was probably more in the right than people realize, but she didn't handle it very well. So, I don't know. I think she should have been more like... Anyway, sorry. I know that's not a popular thing to say, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. That's just... I feel like it's not as black and white. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry. Anyway, I'm sure people think I'm lame now. But let's talk about other failures. Stoner Cats. Oh boy, guys. Stoner Cats. So Stoner Cats was a Stoner Cats. So Stoner Cats was fined $1 million by the Securities Exchange Commission. It is an NFT cartoon starring Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, Chris Rock, various people. I found it on YouTube. It has less subscribers than me, which is shocking. I didn't know anyone could get as low as me. But it's basically about an old lady who smokes weed, and then her weed falls in the fire that she had, and then all the cats get stoned. And the cats are stoned, but then they do adventure things. I thought, when I heard this, I thought they were just cats who, like, talked about their problems while high. I would have loved that. But apparently they, like, it's basically, like, Secret Life of Pets, but they're stoned. Nah, bro. Not feeling that. Apparently you could have watched episodes on their website, but they stopped doing that. I did check. So I can't fully review Stoner Cats. I'm really sorry, chat. Calm down. Don't get upset about my lack of review of Stoner Cats. I don't think anyone heard of this shit, but I think it is funny that they were like, we're going to... And there's stuff of like Mila Kunis shooting a video with Ashton Kutcher. And then they're talking about how like they want Gary Vaynerchuk to be a voice in it. Is like, oh my God. It sounds like the worst thing ever created ever. It is yeah. Anyway, I'm glad they got fined $1 million. I'm gonna assume I don't know, man. It is so bad. It is like, and all the celebrities who find videos, they're so into it. Do they think they're gonna make a lot of money from Stoner Cats? Like, I do love when people are like, what if I did the Adult Swim thing? And they're like, have you watched Adult Swim? No, it's like that Meat Baby says fucked up things, right? That's the thing, right? don't look up Gary Vaynerchuk, Austin. You know, your life is good. You're having a good life right now. Don't do it. Don't do it, Austin. Just don't look up Gary Vaynerchuk. This is literal advice I'm giving you for your life. Just if someone brings him up, just tell them to stop talking forever. I mean, I don't know. You can't just make 12-ounce mouths. That's true. That's what I said to myself. I could make 12-ounce mouths. I don't know if Seth Rogen's involved. But anyway, it involves a bunch of celebrities. It looks like trash. You can find it on YouTube. You can't really watch a full episode. I don't really understand what the whole... They're hyping up like how you can spend money to be a part of this cartoon. I'm like, where's the fucking cartoon? Like, what I like about this, and this is not to toot my own horn, is I'm, one person, and I can get more cartoons out than Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. Like, what's the point of all your power, guys? What? I thought the power was you'd make more cartoons than me. I don't understand what this shit is. It's just pathetic. I don't really get what they were doing, but it was an NFT scam, and yeah. All right. Hayao Miyazaki. According to his producer, he's already has ideas for his next movie. Which, what's going on? They're like 4-ounce mouths. We're going down now. His next movie, which, because his new one I believe it played at TIFF. I've heard good things. I'm excited for it. But, it sounds like he is going to keep working on stuff till he dies, which is the most... I like that since he's ran out of promising animators and friends of his to give anxiety problems to, he's just working on himself now. So that's cool. I'm happy that he keeps making stuff because I love the Studio Ghibli stuff and I love his stuff. But I am like, dude, like, I don't know. I did like The Wind Rises. I have not watched it. I've only watched that one once when I saw it in theaters. I don't know how it holds up. Maybe I'll rewatch it before the new one. But I don't know. It's like part of me is like, I hope this next one's good. But I kind of feel like it's time to like go off in the sunset a little, man. I don't know. Like, but you know, if that's why you want to live your life, why not? You know, but. I hope he's doing okay. Because when Takahata died, I was like, man, it's interesting what he's going to do without that like constant competition of him and Takahata. I always feel bad for him about that. Hello, Garrett Newell. What was this, Jim? Reverse psychology. Look what you did. The Jay-Z of Studio Ghibli? Yeah. Sorry, I do have a bit of a cough still, but I think why Miyazaki won't fix Disney is Miyazaki doesn't want to. Why would Miyazaki want to? Although he has such an influence over those guys, like anytime you see a thing. But given the quality of NFT cartoons, 4-ounce mouth sounds about right. What I don't get about the NFT cartoon thing is like none of those cartoons are like easily accessible, and it's like. Sorry. I sort of get, in a sense, like if you had a big YouTube or TikTok cartoon and you could sell NFTs to a popular thing, that sort of makes sense to me, you know? But if, like, no one can see your cartoon ever, it just, you know, if it looks like a scam and it smells like a scam, it's like, I think Dan Harmon's new one does. What's it? It's going to be on Fox, whatever it's called. Man, that does not look good. Anyway, it's almost like they're sort of like a scam. Exactly. Okay, we're going to talk about these quick. Alan Moore doesn't like the movies. Next Sunday, Crabopolis. Thank you, Ryan. I pronounced that right. Alan Moore. Should I do it as Alan Moore? You know what? if I get a super chat, I will do it as Alan Moore and reveal the energy drink. I'll do one story as Alan Moore. Alan Moore has said he didn't like any of the movies, which isn't... Oh, they're not advertising the NFT connections? I bought so many of these things. Damn it. Are you a scab if you made a cartoon? Because it was made a while ago. I don't know if that counts. Does it count? Or is he just... Anyway. So he doesn't like the movies made of his stuff. Big shock there. And he's asked Warner Brothers to send all of his checks to Black Lives Matter. I think that's pretty cool, to be honest. He's like, I don't like this shit. Just give it away to somebody else. I'm going to give it to them. I don't want to talk about the Fables thing because I never read Fables. I know my dad likes it. And it seems like a bunch of legalese that I would love to see someone talk about at some point, but I am not that person. Okay. $2 Canadian. That's like $17 American. I don't know how things work. All right. So I'm going to get my monitor here. Okay. Should I do my Alan Moore? I don't like what they did to my creations. Oh, well, I got this, right. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog speed energy drink. And I'm going to try it. It's apparently 0 calories. Anyway, here we go. Whoa. Oh, no, it's blue. Just like my soul. Oh, I just got that. Oh, I just got... Well, it's blue because he's Sonic. And Sonic is blue. Oh, my goodness. I should have made it. I should have done Sonic comics instead of the Watchmen or my other creations. Alright, so that's it. It's a Sonic Speed energy drink. Hold on. Speed. What's happening to my voice? Alright. I should have said that. Cornbread. Hold on, I'll go back. Hold on. It's blue, just like Mr. Manhattan, one of my creations from the Watch Guys. Oh, I think Toulouse. Hold on. Just like your creations. Alright. Hold on. Toulouse. What did that say? Even League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Okay, hold on. Toulouse wants to get out of this room. Hold on, 1 second. 1 second. You guys are giving me the giggles. Alright, I got it, Toulouse. I got it. Alright. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, that was an unusual segment. Yeah, it was. Anyway, I was really proud of this. Sorry. When I found the place that had all these funny energy drinks. I'm sorry I was like being so stupid about it. But I was really proud of myself. I was like, we're going to have so much fun. I am good, Anthony. How are you? His appearance on The Simpsons was less of a cartoon. Maybe. All right. Where are we? Okay. I have to do like 2 serious ones now, which is not great. The Rotten Tomatoes scandal. I'm not going to spend it. Jetsons versus WWE or Toy Story versus NFL. This is actually isn't bad, to be honest with you. The Toy Story thing, I mean, they're really trying with NFL because that's like the thing. I'm going to say Jetsons versus WWE because like that seems stupider. And if you're going to do a stupid crossover, you should just go into it. Toy Story versus NFL. Why wasn't it? Is there a sports Pixar? Just Cars? What are you guys doing with Bugs Life? You know what's okay. Side point. I'm going to go Jetsons. Thank you, TuneJ723. Thank you very much. And thank you, Austin, if I didn't say it before. What was my side tangent? Oh, Elemental in America, I don't think is made as much as Bugs Life domestically. But Elemental's came back, I guess. But I notice people always say the overseas, not the domestic. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's on Disney Plus, and all the kids are talking about it again. All right, so the Rotten Tomatoes scandal. Basically, what happened is a PR firm was asking people to change their scores to give, I guess, a Hamlet from the perspective of Ophelia a good score, and blah blah blah. Here's the thing with Rotten Tomatoes. I don't actually use it ever. I have certain critics that I look at and go to, and whether I agree with them or not. I think honestly that's what people should do. There should maybe be a site where they suggest critics to you, and I think that would be a better way to do it rather than the score thing, because there's oftentimes I'm like, I guess I don't like giving things ratings. I think that's sort of dumb, to be honest. It's like I don't 100% love doing stuff like that, even though I'll see it and go, a 4, fuck you. But I think this site has definitely heard criticism, but I also get that people use it, and it's a standard at this point. I think it's a shame that people use the PR firm, because now some asshole on YouTube is definitely going to be like, oh, well, they're all like that. Who's to say Last Jedi wasn't? And you're like, Disney doesn't care that much, guys. But what I think, I just think it delegitimizes criticism in general, much like when Sony basically made up a film critic to give films good reviews and give blurbs. That's the thing that happened. But I think I just think, what if you are like, I want to know who liked a certain movie, just have your guys. It doesn't have to be me. It'd be nice if it was me. That'd be cool. But I like Dom Griffith, Armchair Auteur. I like the Breakfast All Day people. I like Kermode. I like Double Toasted's reviews. People like that are the people I go to, and I'm like, okay. And I don't always agree with all of them. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that. Actually, I used to go to Movie Bob a lot, and his Dungeons and Dragons review made me throw up everywhere. It was mostly about how, I don't know if I'll cut it out or not from a review. It was so bad. He was just going on about Marvel was probably going to make a fantasy movie. I'm like, where are you fucking getting that? What is wrong with you? I don't know. I actually hate when people have these crazy entertainment theories and they put it in their review and won't acknowledge that you're just making a bunch of bullshit up. Anyway, whatever. But very much a side tangent. But I don't love when this shit happens. I think it hurts film criticism tremendously, and it hurts it in the eyes of the public, and people just use it as ammunition to say, you're all paid off by the studios and stuff like that. So I really find it distasteful that someone is doing that. I really love film criticism, and I hate it when people do bullshit like this. So I know Movie Bob is creepy and stuff. I do think he can be a good critic. I think he's gotten kind of bad, to be honest with you. I've noticed he could, back I think around Force Awakens, he was getting a lot of acclaim. I love Ryan's. I don't even agree with your reviews all the time, so fuck your thoughts. See you tomorrow. That's funny. Thank you, Ryan. But anyway, sorry. This is actually really nice. I gotta say, I gotta say this is actually really nice being able to hang out with you guys. It's been a crazy bunch of time. All right, so to be much more serious, I guess, the NBC News came out with a report about Justin Roiland and more accusations of how much of a gross piece of shit he is. I know there were already stuff, but it's pretty clear he's become the new John Kay. Some of his stuff, I get, you're with someone and you made a mistake or things were taken the wrong way. that is like, isolated incidents or isolated incidents, but, when you're having people cross state lines to hang out with you so you can have sex with them and things like that, and there's so much of a pattern of it, because it's like, if it was like one thing, you're like, oh, I don't know, but there's so many of these, you're like, dude, what is fucking wrong with you? And so many of these text messages where he's like, oh, I'm not like that. I'm like, well, it sounds like you are like that. I I find his whole thing. I hope I'm not too loud, by the way. Just keep saying sorry. I just think he's obviously never coming back. We don't know who the voices of Rick and Morty are. It's not me. So if you were wondering, but he's the new John K. That's basically what he's doing. He's the new John K. It's just like, if he's hitting up teenage girls and stuff like that, and it's like, why are you hitting up fans and like doing that? I don't really get guys who do that shit, or like are weirdly obsessed over girls and stuff like that. It's like, I get like really liking someone, but at a certain point you gotta like just like move the fuck on, and like, you're uberly successful. I just find him to be an extremely disappointing person to such a degree. It's like, you really needed to deal with who you are and go into therapy and stuff, but the fact that you fucked this up so much is just, as a person, it's like, what the fuck is he even doing? Like, you have all this money and stuff, and you're like manipulating. I mean, it's clearly like he got off on being this piece of shit. So I just find him to be, I don't think he's redeemable. I do wonder why NBC News posted this article now. I'm a little confused about that. I guess because we're going to get the new voice actors to just be like, maybe ruin the crew who's going to be like, why isn't he back at Rick and Morty? And then and I think this article makes you go, I don't really want him back. I'm very curious how they're going to handle that, but he is, it's like, that's the thing. I have heard people defend him and stuff, but I'm like, one isolated incident is one thing, but there are so many of these that it's not. He's a shitty person. I don't know. I'm done. I think that guy is like too far removed from all this. He is a horrible person. He is doing, like, that's what John Kay did to kids back in the day who liked Ren and Stimpy stuff. He manipulated them. He's like, he's following and texting people who have Rick and Morty art. Like, these are people, like, why are you doing this to people? I don't. Anyway, he's it's just unfortunate. I don't really have too much to say about it, other than like, I do think he's the new John Kay. Like, I remember before we really knew what was going on with John Kay, everyone knew he like messaged girls and stuff. I didn't know about the girl in the documentary who like came to live, all of that I didn't know, but everyone knew he like would message any girl who like drew anything ever. And this is at that level. Like, he's lurking, he's looking for people. I mean, I don't know. So I've heard people say, well, they probably added him, and I was like, from this article, it doesn't. First off, if they did, he's getting added all the time for a million things that he's like scrolling through. Is fucking weird when he's as busy and powerful as he is. Like, just like, I don't know. A lot of these people, it's more about like, they don't want someone, a woman or whomever in their lives, who can contradict them, who they don't have power over, things like that. That just like, people like that, I think are inherently like just not helping. Well, first off, culture advance, but are not really good at being like leaders or bosses, and shouldn't be, because if that's how you're going to treat people and how you view people as sort of disposable and things like that, then you're not helping. I mean, I don't know. Then you're just not, I don't know, worth any sort of respect, even though you command it. And it's like, I don't know. I think in the end, if anyone is like that to you and you do feel like they're manipulating, just try to like talk to either, whoever. I know it's like lame if I say talk to your parents and stuff, but just sit back and talk to someone who's older about it. Even if, there's times in my life I've dealt with people who are much bigger and more powerful, and you have to do what is honest to yourself. Don't just go along with it and people will tell you to do that. 100% will tell you, go along with this shit because it'll work out for you. I am here to tell you that is not true. Who is that worked out for? It doesn't work out for anyone. Like, it really hasn't. There's not a case in Hollywood where it does. And if it quote unquote does, they went through hell to get there, and you don't want that. So just don't. Anyway, just unfortunate. I really liked Rick and Morty. It's hard to go back and think of it now. I'm curious about the new one. I think the whole world is watching for how they're going to handle that. But Justin Roiland deserves everything he's getting at this point, which isn't that much compared to what he did before. And the fact that also he was such an asshole that no one wants to even try to defend him. Like, one thing I will say that is pretty remarkable is how many people... Anyway, you know what? I was going to say how many people would defend Danny Masterson but not defend Justin Roiland. I'm not accusing Justin Roiland of anything that's horrible. I don't know. He just seems like a real piece of shit, and fuck that guy. And it sucks that he ruined the reputation of a cool show, I guess. But also, I'm sorry to all the victims and everyone who's had to deal with him in real life. And I hope if any of you have to deal with that, you sit back and try to get away from something like that as soon as possible. And I wish you all the best in general. I hope that wasn't made some sort of a semblance of sense. Let's move on to trailers. Yay! Sorry, okay. Aquaman 2. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I think. Look, Aquaman is a ridiculous movie. I love it for being ridiculous. James Wan in full malignant, I don't give a shit mode, doing the first Aquaman. I used to tell people who did smoke weed, I was like, you got to do it with this movie. Not that I have, I'm just saying. And this movie looks like more of that. Totally stoked. I want Aquaman to continue because it looks really dumb as shit. Looks really, really stupid. I'm totally into that, and it's continuing. I don't know. It's like I don't know how that does so well. I don't know how he gets away with it. I want more octopuses playing drums and shit. That's cool. What's the other thing? The Young Love trailer that looks really promising as a show. It looks very different from Hair Love. I'm kind of down with it. It looked like, is Scott Muscudi, that's Kid Cudi, I believe, and Issa Rae as the parents. Looks like a cool show. I'm kind of down with it. I don't get the same vibes as Hair Love. I feel like the buzz around Hair Love is sort of gone, so I think it's probably good to do the show now, because you can sort of be your own thing. I hope that works out for it, because I really loved Hair Love. I still like it. I don't know why. I noticed, I was trying to read the book in the library. Kids were like, not as into it anymore. I don't know. I think most of them were actually we've heard this so many times. Should have been called... Sorry. Should have been called Aquaman Dinosaur House. I love it. Cheers to you, Austin. I like that. Should have been called Dinosaur House. Oh shit, I actually didn't get to watch the Goosebumps trailer. Oops. I did watch the Frasier trailer. I know, you're excited. My one thing with the Frasier trailer is, where's David Hyde Pierce? My other thing is, watching it, I was like, oh, it's like the reverse. He's the dad now. And instead of the dad being kind of like a normal kind of dude, he's Frasier, and the kid is the normal dude. So, that's not a bad concept. I just think they should have David Hyde Pierce. I don't understand why they didn't do that. So that's my biggest thing with that. I can see potential. To be honest, like watching the trailer made me go, oh, okay, I sort of get what you're doing. It's kind of interesting. I'm curious about that. Next up, Henry Sugar, the Wes Anderson Roald Dahl adaptations. It looks cool. I didn't really grow up with Roald Dahl. I just read comics and watched TV. And I wasn't the biggest reader, and it wasn't my thing, but I like that. So, what was I going to say? Sorry. But I like Wes Anderson, so it looks cool. I haven't watched any One Piece, but it getting a season 2 is pretty cool. All right. Sorry I didn't watch the Goosebumps trailer. Ryan did send it to me, and somehow I realized when someone posted it. All right. Oh, we don't have too much, and then we'll take a break. But we have a bunch of Disney is dumb, sort of. So Disney, with Spectrum Cable, lost Spectrum Cable or Charter, and it's or called Spectrum, lost Disney on all their channels for 12 days, mostly over the fact they wanted their customers to have Disney Plus as an add-in. Disney was like, no, and they're like, well, fuck you then, and took off all their channels right as football was starting and the U.S. Open, mostly hurting sports fans. I know most of us are not big sports people, but this was a major thing, and Disney gets about $2 billion from Charter a year, and it looked like they had actually put those $2 billion in jeopardy. And Disney was even like, while we're negotiating, you can keep our channels on, like, it's cool. And Charter was like, no, we're not going to do that. So for 12 days, those people who were paying for Spectrum didn't have those channels. They didn't actually lose that many subscribers, although they did lose people, because obviously it seemed like a pretty crazy move that they did that, but it worked out. However, and I'll say this, okay. Sorry, Cinderella. I'm kind of on a different thing. I'll speak again later. I do have thoughts on that. However, when they did make the deal, they are dropping all young channels, and I think it's because young people don't watch traditional TV. So Freeform, Disney Junior, Disney XD, FXX, and AllNet Geo channels were dropped as part of the deal eventually, which is pretty insane. So Freeform wasn't sure what it was going to do, seemed a little lost in that. It's you know, I'm not surprised you drop kid channels, because kids, like my kids, don't watch cable. They watch streaming. If they watch YouTube, I have to be in the room, because I worked on that YouTube Kids video for Saber, and they made it, YouTube took it down. So trust, when people are like, do you know what YouTube can do with kids? I'm like, I know more than you. Because I researched it and they didn't like it. I think that's known. I don't think that's a behind the scenes thing. It's too much. But I'm not surprised they did that, but it is pretty shocking that, like, when they got into intense negotiations, they're like, also, if you can get rid of all the kid shit, because nobody's watching that, and get that the fuck out of here. That's actually a pretty big story. I found that one of the articles, and I was like, oh, that's not good. I'll answer the thing. Cineram asks, do you get annoyed when trailers have text and studio logos in the corner of the frame? The trailer for House of Usher has not only the Netflix logo and the title throughout. I do get annoyed, especially when I'm making, use those trailers to put clips in my reviews. Netflix has always done that, and it's obnoxious. A lot of them don't, because they know, like, those clips are going to go everywhere and they want them to be cleaner. I think it's, like, a little stupid. I don't even really get, like, why we have so many logos before movies. Like, it's like, I get you paid for it, but, like, you don't have to be so obnoxious about it. Like, I think it's a little dumb, to be honest. So what came out was the cancellation rates, not of streaming services, not the cancellation, like the churn, as they call it, or people dropping services. Max had the most with 26.9% of shows they've canceled, and Disney Plus was second with 21%. The only thing that I think should be counted is Hulu, which is 2/3 owned by Disney, is fourth with 15.2%, but 2/3 of 15, I guess, would be 10. So technically, Disney has the higher cancellation rate if you count that, and Comcast with Peacock would have 15%. So Paramount Plus is coming in third. So technically Disney actually does have the highest cancellation rate if we are putting percentages when you're counting Hulu into account. So yeah, I think that's worth noting there. Because I think Disney as a company has more cancellation than HBO Max when you really consider Hulu. And speaking of Hulu, and if you're wondering why I suddenly just knew that they own 2/3, Disney is going to buy the 1/3 stake in Hulu from Comcast, because Hulu used to be Disney, Fox, Universal, or Comcast. Disney bought Fox. They own 2/3 of Hulu, and Comcast is going to sell their 1/3 stake, but they have to figure out how much Hulu is. It was valued at $27.5 billion. So I don't know. It's a lot of money, it sounds like to me. But some say it's too low, but it looks like the deal will start on September 30th instead of January. They were going to start that in January. So soon Hulu will be absorbed within Disney. It's probably going to cost them, I would say, at least $10 billion, probably more, to buy Comcast stake in Hulu, which isn't available in all over the world, just in like Austin always corrects me. But we'll see. Byron Allen is offering $10 billion for ABC. I do know Disney's saying they're going to off their TV thing. Byron Allen's really offering $10 billion for ABC and other Disney networks. I mean, Byron Allen's an interesting guy. I think he would probably do okay with that, to be honest with you. So we'll see. What is left? Oh my God. One of the things in the image. Oh my God. And we're running out of time. Well, we have like an hour. Anyway, let's talk about, okay. Lando is a movie now. It was going to be a show. I guess the argument is because Daniel Glover's brother, Stephen Glover, revealed that on a podcast. I don't know if it's because, one, Donald Glover is a bigger star, and they were like, well, he's not a movie star, but he's a bigger star for a Star Wars thing. Makes more sense. I don't know if Donald Glover used his bigger agents to be like, I don't want to be like the Mandalorian and all that stuff. I'm not sure how that deal went down, but apparently it is a movie. I think that's a cool idea. I liked him as Lando a lot. So Taylor Swift. And what the hell am I talking about with film history? And let me explain. So a long time ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I talked about how the Paramount decree had been overturned. There's some setup I got to do. So what is the Paramount decree? Paramount decree, a long time ago, it's a part of film history. This is a thing I had to learn several times because I took a couple film history classes. If you take a film history class, they probably talk about it. Studios, for a long time, not only owned production, but they owned distribution and they owned theaters. So if you wanted to see, like people say Casablanca, you had to go to Warner Brothers Theater. If you wanted to see Wizard of Oz, you had to go to MGM Theater. There were some independent theaters, but for the most part, they owned everything. They had a total monopoly. And then the Supreme Court made them break that up, and was the Paramount decree. And so basically, if you add an AMC, can't also be owned by Disney, yada yada, stuff like that. Then in 2020, they felt that the need for that kind of legislation was no longer needed, and they overturned it. Nothing has happened there was a sunset period for, I think, 2 years or something, and everyone thought, which studio is going to buy, AMC or Regal or Cinemark or whatever. And basically nothing has happened. There's been no movement on that. Netflix didn't buy a theater chain. Everyone thought they would. Nothing happened with that. And then this Taylor Swift thing happened. And it happened not in the way we all thought it was. Because when this ended, and what everyone thought is, and this is true, everyone thought, is a studio going to buy a theater chain or buy a small theater chain or like, and they'll do only exclusive things for that theater and it'll go back to the 40s. It'll have movie palaces again. That's where my head was at. That's where everyone's head was at. But Taylor Swift, this is actual some film history shit. They're like, how did the Paramount decree end and who was the first to take advantage of it? It's fucking Taylor Swift with the Eras Tour movie. So what she did is she shot a documentary. She got someone who shoots documentaries of concerts. Not that exciting there. But she made this movie. She went to Universal, Disney, maybe Warner Brothers. She went to a couple people. And they were like, well, why would we release this now? Because you're still on tour. You should release it after the tour. And she's like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to release it now. And they're like, well, we're not going to fucking release it. And then apparently someone called her dad, a friend was like, well, I hear AMC's always interested in releasing movies. And they were like, oh, hey, Quicksilver, what's up? And they're like, oh, okay. And they made a deal with AMC. And AMC actually got a different distribution company. Who's it called? I wrote it down. Variant Films. So they're going to handle, AMC's going to handle AMC, and Variant Films will handle all the other chains. They're getting like a one-time fee, which apparently is a lot. AMC is going to split it with the actual theaters, and then AMC and the Swift family, Taylor Swift and her mom and dad, are going to get the other percentage. But basically this means is AMC is starting a distribution line instead of the companies getting into distribution. The distribution company is getting into movies, which is not what everyone thought was going to happen. So, it sounds like Taylor Swift could have actually demanded like Disney percentages if she'd run through a studio, but she couldn't release it the way she is. But this actually, from the percentages I have read, might actually make more money for at least the AMC theaters, which, as much as like I know it's a company and stuff, anyway a theater can make money, I am pro. Like the actual locations, that is good. It sounds like they're going to get a better percentage. Because of that, obviously that works out for the company. Good night, Ramsey, the artist. Get a lot of sleep. But I do know like the concert is, the movie tickets are expensive. It's like $19.89. Ha ha ha. Unless you see it in IMAX, of course. But I do think this is a radical change. She messed up. Like The Exorcist had that October 13th release date, and she made the move suddenly. That's a big distribution change. Sorry. I might need to get up and get water in a second. But what she basically did was, wish there's an end video where there'd be a record scratch after that. Basically, what she did being like, this is the release date and The Exorcist having to move. Although no one seems excited for that Exorcist movie, to be honest. I thought it looked kind of interesting, but no one else seems to really want it. With that movie, doing that was a huge change because the studios always have their aligned things. They have like a gentleman's agreement thing, and Taylor Swift was like, I want the 13th. Fuck you, basically. That was a big change as well. So the Eras Tour movie, I'm telling you, whether you like Taylor Swift or not, for the record, I actually do, and I'm going to go to the Eras Tour next year, actually. So I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'll see the movie. It's like a concert movie. I don't even know if I'll see Stop Making Sense. It sounded like it would be cool. But I think this is something, someone needed to do something with the Paramount Accords and that freedom. And I'm glad that it finally happened. I think someone who, Taylor Swift, regardless of what you think of her, is a smart businesswoman. Her dad's a very smart business guy, and they figured out something when the studios wouldn't work for them. I do think we're in the era, and as I've been telling you all these studio industry stories, we are in the worst studio executive era of all time. Like, between what they're doing with the strike, how they haven't taken care of the Paramount decree, how they basically let Taylor Swift have a movie and let her go. Like, this is going to be a huge fucking blockbuster. Are you kidding me right now? Like, this was such an L for the film industry. It is frankly remarkable that they can act like they're in control of fucking anything right now. It is like, how did you screw this up so bad? Oh my God, like, you let this go? Whatever. Anyway, I hope AMC does some cool deals with this kind of distribution model. I hope other like Regal and stuff take advantage of that. I like that they're helping out other theaters with it. I hope the percentages are much like they're doing for their own theaters. I did not see reporting on the other things that Variant Films is doing with that. I don't think they're getting a percentage, but I think they're mostly doing it to get their name out, so good luck to them. Okay. I'm just going to end with, I wanted to talk a little bit about Flapjack, but I feel like I'm running long and I need to get water. So just say Flapjack is so influential. I knew it when, by the time I got canceled and you had Adventure Time and regular show, and I could see it being the Pixies of the new, how the Pixies were to the alternative movement to, or alternative music becoming a thing. I think Flapjack is that. Because so many things have come from it. And Flapjacks is a cool show. I knew it was a cool show when my friend Kool-Aid told me his friend wouldn't let her kids watch it because it was so weird. And I was like, I have to watch this fucking show. So I think that it is the show that begat that era. Two Stupid Dogs is kind of the previous era. But I think, the other thing is John Waters is getting his star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. If any of you are in Maryland, the Senator Theater in Baltimore is doing a free telecast of it. You can go to and watch of the Walk of Fame ceremony. There's also an exhibit at the Academy Museum. So right now, LA is totally John Waters out right now, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to see him get his star on the Walk of Fame. I think that's really great. I am being quick because I know I'm going to cough a lot. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a break. We're going to talk about Kiri and Lou. We're going to talk about the Batwheels episode with Adam West, and then we're going to talk about Beavis and Butthead, and then we're going to do questions. There wasn't too much to talk about. There were some major things. I hope the Taylor Swift thing made sense to everybody. Quicksilver, you should go to that. It's the Senator's great, and it's free. I heard it was free. Look it up, Quicksilver. Thank you all for being here. This was really great. You saw, there was a Knock for sticker down there. I forgot we put them up. I saw a Knock for sticker in Williamsburg the other day. I was like, still there. Fuck yeah. I was like seeing them. There's one near the Royal Farms, near the Royal Farms I used to go to, and it was still up there. And that's like one of the most proud things. Anyway, I did do a review of Flapjack, which I think is in the old review omnibus, one of them. You should check it out. I should redo a Flapjack review at some point. Anyway, I need to go cough and drink water and stuff. But I'll be right back. There'll probably be an ad. There'll probably be an ad because, I need to make some money somehow. And, thank you all for being here. I will be right back. And then we'll talk about other stuff. All right, cool. Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome back. All right. So, how's it going? Let me drink some of this to give me some energy. So it's gonna work like because I'm talking about a show, a loose kind of review of a show, a review of an episode of a show, and a just general loose review. There'll, I think, be videos later, at least 2 of them, but we'll see if that happens. We'll see. Your dream was your ticket out. Anyway, so one of the reasons, I hope everyone had a good break while I was doing that, and feel better. Feel better, right, Sonic? Okay. 2 Lucy's. What? All right. Oh, I see what you did there. When I was thinking Lucy's, I was like, I'm not smoking. What are you talking about? So one of the, okay. Let's have this go here. Let's have you go here. Why didn't I have this set up before? Go away. Okay. So Kiri and Lou. One of the things I wanted to talk about this show for a while. Hold on. Sorry. So Kiri and Lou. This is probably a show, okay. Take 3. So Kiri and Lou is a show that I watch with my kids, and a show that I've wanted to talk about for a while, because I often feel like with the cartoon community and stuff, and I put myself in this as well, we sort of don't talk about new shows that no one's talking about. We talk about kind of the shows that everyone's talking about. But this is a show I haven't really heard anyone talk about, and I discovered while I was watching the Pluto Nickelodeon channel with my kids, and ads for it came on, and I thought the animation looked great. It is a stop-motion animated show. I would describe the animation sort of like the stop-motion in Pee-wee's Playhouse, as the camera at the beginning of the camera is going up to the actual playhouse. That's what it reminded me of. But it is a New Zealand stop-motion animated show with Jermaine Clement actually as one of the characters. How it kind of became a thing in my household, because originally I thought the design was cool. I'm like, I want to check this out with my kids, because I don't know if you've seen the design for most kids' cartoons, but it's pretty horrible. And it all kind of looks the same, and I was like, oh, this looks different at least. So I wanted to watch it for that, but then I noticed it's very chill. The music is kind of odd and offbeat. I like Jermaine Clement's, other shows like Flight of the Conchords, and What We Do in the Shadows, and I thought maybe you can do a kid show. And it's honestly our calm down, relax show. It is like everyone's too crazy. We're watching Kiri and Lou, and everyone kind of snuggles on the couch and calms down, which there are not a lot of effective kids shows to do. But I legitimately really like this show. I rewatched it to do this review just without kids, and you get about 4 segments in one show, in 1.5 hour thing. I think each one's about 4 or 5 minutes. It's basically about a Lou, played by Jermaine Clement, and Kiri, played by Olivia Tennant. And is it Tennant? Let me make sure I got that right. I want to make sure I am accurate. I was right. Olivia Tennant. Okay. I don't know if she's related to that other guy. But it's all prehistoric stuff. It's all in, they're all dinosaurs. Kiri is I guess kind of a stegosaurus, yellow stegosaurus creature, and Lou is an elephant trunk guy. I don't know. It's not super accurate. Who cares that it is? They have a big dinosaur they're friends with, whose name I keep forgetting and is sort of weird. And they're friends with a really small guy called Smalls. who has a small little voice and stuff like that. But it is very positive vibes. If you're like, I want a show that can like calm stuff down, has cool, weird songs, and is actually pretty good. Like, I know people freak out about Bluey, but if you're like, man, today was stressful, I just need something to calm the mood down, this is the show for you. It's on Paramount Plus. You can find stuff on YouTube. I would recommend Who is Sleepy Now. It's on Spotify and other streaming services. But this is a calm, relaxed kids show, but it's also really good and offbeat in a way that I don't see other kids shows really doing. It's just being kind of strained. Like, there was one episode where Lou falls asleep, rolls down, is on a sloth. The sloth bumps him off his tummy, and he's rolling over. They have to find him. There's another one where they're having a party underwater, and Lou can go because he has a trunk and can put his trunk up above the water, but Kiri will come down, talk to people, and then has to run up to get air, and then sings a song about air. It is, I don't know. I really love this show. I love the look of this show. I love the music of the show. I like that Jermaine Clement's in this and he's doing this kind of weird offbeat voice. I like that the people who made this have a cool thing to show kids how to make stop motion. There's nothing I really dislike about this show. I don't know why more people aren't really talking about it. I believe when this becomes a separate video, I believe with this review, this would only be the second review on YouTube, and the other one is Common Sense Media. I know I'm not, even though I'm like a parent and stuff, I'm not the same thing as them, but I'm honestly here to tell you it is the kids show that more people should be watching and paying attention to, and I don't want it to be forgotten, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I do like to recommend stuff to people, and this is probably the show I watch pretty frequently. Like, I didn't need to watch that many episodes because I remember a lot of it. Like, I like the things with Smalls. And in one where Smalls wants to talk to like the older, bigger dinosaur they're friends with and gets eaten. And then because the bigger dinosaur doesn't see Smalls, and Smalls meets their grandparents who are living in the bigger dinosaur's stomach. It just has so many odd, offbeat episodes. These are both... I noticed the two I ended up watching were the season 1, season 2 openers. The first 2 seasons are on Paramount Plus. I hear there's a 3rd season that maybe is aired on TV and a possible 4th season. It's just like, I don't think we talk enough about cool shows that are just like calm you down. And that's where it is in my house, but I love watching it. I was like, I've been very pro it since I was watching it to just review it because I just love the vibe of it. And as life has been a little complicated and stressful lately, I have had it on a little bit more. And, obviously we have Bluey, and my son loves Thomas the Tank Engine, frankly, and the Baby Shark Show, and, Lele and stuff. And this is another Nickelodeon show, but it is such a different kind of unique vibe to it. And it's cool seeing, like, stop motion where you can kind of feel the fingers moving the clay, and you can feel things like that. It, like, reminds me of things like Will Vinton and Gumby, but also in just, like, weird kind of, like, they're all like weird prehistoric creatures. I love the theme song where it's like it's time to play with Kiri and Lou. I love it's like weird, it's kind of strange vibe, but all wholly positive. Like, it's not like so weird a normal person couldn't get into it, but I do think it's weird enough that if you're like a weird animation nerd, you should be getting into this. This is probably one of the most underrated, underlooked at shows right now. And a show that I look to just like calm things down and make you go, hey, life isn't so bad. And it's a great stress reliever in a lot of ways. And especially for kids. So there's too many shows that like are upping their energy level or making them like sort of just sucked in zombies to the TV or background noise when they play with toys. But this is the one that like gets them in the right kind of calm mood and is kind of cool to chill with while you're drinking your coffee and your kids aren't screaming and yelling around. I think a really great show that we should be talking about a little more. I highly recommend Kiri and Lou. All right. I hope that communicated what I wanted to communicate. Let's move on to Also, the two seasons are on Paramount Plus. It's currently airing on Nickelodeon. I believe it's on the Pluto channel there, and it is on. You can find segments on YouTube also. So to talk about, Adam West was in an episode of Batwheels. Now, I've seen Batwheels, by the way. Let me get some of the Sonic energy. It's a very preschool heavy episode. Sorry. I've seen Batwheels. My son likes Batwheels, the show. It's okay. It's a little kid show. It is, by definition, a little boy show that only... that I don't think... Ethan Hawke is Batman and stuff, but I think it is like 100% just for the kids. However, recently they decided to have... use pre-existing audio of Adam West and have Adam West be on Batwheels. Morally, I wasn't super excited for this because I don't like when people do that. However, I'll bring this up. When I looked on Twitter to see, like, did they ask the estate? Because I couldn't find out. The showrunner, or a guy who's written several episodes, Michael Stern, did respond to people and said they worked with the estate. It seemed his Twitter didn't seem super official, but he's either actual Michael Stern or such a weird fan that he's pretending to be Michael Stern. I sort of don't think that's what's going on. But he said they worked with the estate. As long as the family approves it, is getting paid, I'm sort of okay with that. I don't know how he felt about it, but what was the actual episode? Because he's been dead for 5 years. Like, he died in 2017. The problem is so they basically have, how it works is each of the various Bat cars, like Batgirl's motorcycle, Robin has a car, you have the Batmobile, who has like a different stupid name, and all the villains' cars and stuff all fight each other, and a lot of times without the actual heroes and villains. It's a dumb show. My son loves it. My daughter doesn't like it because she was like, how could we watch this show? It's not good for kids because cars are bad for the environment. So we don't watch it with her. But it's like, fair point. But the problem with this is supposedly the estate is okay with it. Supposedly they were compensated. So, and I also... legally, apparently, these companies do not have to reach out to the estates and stuff necessarily, but I think they also don't want to open the legal quagmire it is for them to go, fuck you, we're doing it anyway. So they just don't, I'm assuming. But the thing with it is, it's fairly obvious. Okay, sorry. So the thing with this episode is they have the other Bat cars are like, their batteries are drained by the evil Bat things and the evil guys' cars. And so the Batmobile needs help. And the Bat computer is like, oh, well, we have this older car and it's the Batmobile from the 60s Batman. And they load it up and Adam West's voice comes out. And they're always like, man, he sounds kind of weird. Like he's almost not talking to us in a way. And, yeah, oftentimes he's like calling it good buddy because it sounds like it was for the Batman cartoon movies they were making towards the end of his life. I reviewed one of them, which apparently Linda Carter was going to be in the third one, and that never worked out, unfortunately. But so like the audio doesn't work, and oftentimes characters will over-explain things because that character obviously can't, because they don't have like... they didn't write that dialogue. They're inserting dialogue in it, and it very much feels like it. Like 100% very much feels like it. And it's just awkward and weird. And the thing with it is, like, it's like, if you're going to have Adam West be on a Batman thing, and I know bringing up animated series with I think it's the Grey Ghost episode, it's super unfair. 100%, because that's really good, and this is Batwheels. Not to be a total asshole, but what was the point of having him there other than to have him there? Like, go through all that. If there was a point of bringing the older Batmobile there, or they're saying something about fandom, or what's happened to Batmobiles over the years, or something like that, I would be willing to accept this more. But it's just like he's there and Adam West is there just cuz, and he helps the other cars out because the Batmobile needs help. But like, first off, that happens a lot where like one of them is like needs help from somebody and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. This isn't as bad as The Flash. I see Tunjay saying, is The Flash the preschool? Is this The Flash of preschool shows? It's not as bad because they didn't use AI. They used real audio. They told the estate before, things like that. The Flash thing was handled worse than Batwheels. I like that fucking Batwheels has better morals than The Flash. But look, I don't have anything problem. It sounds like they handled the audio correctly in terms of ethically and morally. I just don't understand the point. And I think like you could say, oh, it's just a preschool show about Batman's cars, and like, yeah, fair. That is 100% what it is. They did do a time travel episode, which I did quite like, by the way. But it's basically, my son watches it. He makes his cars go vroom vroom while it's on, and it does its job. They didn't have merch right away like the Spidey and His Amazing Friend show, but they do. I have seen some merch around. But they could have done a better job. They could have made a point with it. I think the reason the Grey Ghost episode, I think I'm saying that right, is it the Adam West, at least the Adam West Batman Animated Series episode works so well, is because there is a point to it. There was a passing of the guard. There was like it was a story. There was something to say there. And like, say something. Like, you have Adam West for the first time in 5 years is in something, and you're using this audio, and you went through all that, and what are you saying? You're saying he's there, and he's the old Batmobile, and none of it makes sense, and he sounds like a weird old guy who's saying dialogue that obviously doesn't belong in the show. I think that is the issue with it. Like, if you got a point and had a point with it, it would feel touching and awesome and like a neat little thing for like the parents. Be like, oh, that's Adam West, because trust me, my 2-year-old son does not know who Adam West is. I'm sorry, everybody. And I don't think most of the kids are. So I wish they had done this for a reason other than, isn't it cool that Adam West is the Batmobile? I guess it is, but I don't think it has any more redeeming qualities than that. I'm glad they handled it ethically. I'm glad they worked it out. But, yeah, it's it's a little boy show for little boys to go vroom vroom with their cars during, and hopefully to buy some Batmobile merchandise. We haven't done that yet, but we have seen a few of them. I don't think this was a particularly great episode. It was kind of a little strange. I don't think it was worth it overall to do this, but I guess they did it, and I'm glad they handled it ethically and handled it better than a $200 million movie. Kudos to you, Batwheels. You don't suck as much as the Flash movie. Good for you. All right. So this last segment. Sorry, these segments are weird. This is a little offbeat one, to be honest with you. Sorry if I'm drinking the energy drink, but I should drink water, to be honest, after the coughing and stuff. All right. So, obviously, as I've alluded to, and said, past month, a lot have been going on. A lot of people have been sick. I was sick. Son's birthday party had to be rescheduled. Didn't get to go to Coney Island. I had to take off a lot of sick time from work. All this, just a lot of stuff. A lot of hard decisions and things like that. That has not been a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to want to watch anything. And that's where I found the Beavis and Butthead reboot. I had heard good things. One of the last times I got to talk to Pan, we talked about it. But this, I didn't love the first one. It was about like an escape room and stuff, and I saw them making fun of people on YouTube. I was like, I don't know if I love this. But then, and even when I had COVID the last year, the first time, I was like, I don't know if I can deal with this, and I didn't. And this time I did, and I really, really loved it. And I came around on the YouTube thing, and there's some pretty generally great episodes. Because it occurred to me, Beavis and Butthead is just like Laurel and Hardy or any of those like duo teams. It's like the same thing. And Mike Judge is a great comedy writer and great performer. And these are legitimately really good. Now, what I should say is I was a kid who watched Beavis and Butthead in the 90s. My parents, for some reason, let me watch it. And I'm the kid who burned down his trailer. No, I'm not. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. They let me watch it. I love doing Beavis and Butthead impressions. I thought Beavis and Butthead impressions were hilarious because I was 9 years old. I was 9 years old. Other parents of kids did not like me doing that impression. They hated Beavis and Butthead. I liked it as a kid. And I saw the movie. The movie kind of falls into the show. You basically get two plot lines. Beavis and Butthead time traveled to now. So the Beavis and Butthead from the 90s now. Then you have the Beavis and Butthead who basically in this timeline, it's as if they didn't time travel and they're older. You don't really get a lot with them, or at least from the ones I watched. But there were a couple of good ones. One of the ones of them watching TV was the ASMR one, which you can find on YouTube. Was what turned me around to them watching stuff and like making fun of it. Because I really don't love like, because a lot of, we're all independent creators. We're all struggling. We're all trying to make 50 cents out here and stuff. And like, I don't love when people like make fun of people like that. It's just like, come on, man. Like, we have enough. It's hard enough. Like, leave us alone. But the ASMR thing was legitimately hilarious, where they're like whispering and like they hit each other. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just watch it. It was really, really funny. Very, very hilarious. I really like that. There was one episode called The Doppelganger where Beavis is out and he's looking for Butthead and he sees a guy and he turns around and it's not Butthead, but a guy who looks like Butthead, and that guy follows him around all day, keeps hanging out with him and driving around, and it's like super weird. That was I really like that episode. There's ones where they have to fight a raccoon and then have a ton of raccoons in their house. There was one with a hornet's nest. There was just like one where they got stuck in a box, just like typical comedy setup stuff. But Mike Judge is so good at it. I really like the reboot, but I'm reminded when I watched this of the end. If you've ever seen the classic film Sullivan Travels, it reminds me of that, where he's just like, he's talking about the weight of film and all this stuff. And I will get you, don't worry, Syndrome. This whole movie and how importance of film and great film and all this stuff, and I'm totally for that. But then at the end, he's laughing in a Pluto cartoon, or is it a Goofy cartoon? I forget. He's laughing in a silly cartoon. And I think the point is art is many different things to many people. And art is so many different things. But I think sometimes at the end of the day, I just need a really dumb thing to just like let me calm down and release stress and stuff. And like, this was kind of like my own personal kind of thing. And I told a few people about it, and they're like, that does sound like a good stress reliever. Because you just like, I know they're going to be funny. I know they're going to do something stupid. Even the one with older Beavis and Butthead, the only one... That was weird. The only one with older Beavis and Butthead I saw was one where like Beavis and Butthead have to get... Beavis has to get a job because Butthead is too fat when he's older, and then he gets to be a caregiver for Butthead, and then they just like fight, and I don't know. It's an excellent show. It's a great reboot. I've only really watched half of season 1. I'm just sort of chipping away at it, but I highly recommend it. I'm sorry, I had a stressful month, so I think I'm more just like, hey, why don't we talk about stuff that just chills me the fuck out and makes me feel better? And this was my show, man. This was my show. I might watch it after this. It is really good at it. Beavis and Butthead's back. I'm glad I'm returning to it. Literally, like, I think it's like 30 years later, but it is, quality-wise, it feels just the same to me. Before, I feel like I was watching it because I wanted to be like the cool older kids in the comic book store. Now I'm watching it so I can just like maintain my mental sanity. But much like how you'd watch a great Laurel and Hardy and laugh and have a good time, I think Beavis and Butthead is perfect at that. I love this new reboot. It has become a real staple for me in watching stuff. If I need something to watch, it is a good, solid show Mike Judge has done a great job with it and clearly loves these characters and is a great performer. And yeah, if you're wondering what to watch, 100% watch the ASMR thing. And I would say the one that's, I think, called The Double or something, the whatever it is. Anyway, great show. Really love it. I just wanted to tell people I like it, and I would highly recommend Beavis and Butthead because I think we all need something just laugh at, something stupid, just get us through our week. And that for me is fucking Beavis and Butthead, just like it was before, but it's, I think, doing me even more good now. So thank you, Beavis and Butthead, for improving my life quality. I think that's a bit loose. I don't know if that'll be a separate thing, but I'm glad I did it. Anyway, Sidram says, my Beavis is pretty solid. I would do... Oh, okay. I was not sure what you meant. I'm so sorry. Okay, I didn't know you do a good Beavis. That's cool. I would do a Beavis and Butthead version of Top Gun for a movie-okie night. Okay, I love that. Cheers to you, Sidram. Cheers to you. That was good. Okay. But when you said my Beavis, I don't know what I thought that was going to be. I've done too many old Space Ghosts. Also, I don't think it's on Max anymore, but I went through those. I do go back to Space Ghost a lot. That is another one. But I think this one is just because I wrote it off and came back to it. Nathaniel Focus said, this and the Futurama revival really does feel like these shows never left, and that's honestly okay with having that sort of familiarity. Well written, Nathaniel Focus. Cheers to you. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you also, Sinram. Why are you saying no? I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm going to do the questions. And then maybe we'll just do a bunch of is somebody crying? Hold on. I gotta check on something. I want to make sure the kids are okay. I'll be right back. I will answer questions. Give me 1 second, okay? I'm sorry. I heard something. I want to check on the kiddos. I'll be right back. Oh, hey everybody. Sorry about that. Sorry. Sorry. I had to deal with a baby. I'm like the parent who's home right now. So, apologies for that. Sorry. Okay, was that? I see a super chat. Hold on. Sorry about, he was crying. I wanted to calm him down. I don't want him screaming. But he's okay. He's okay. He wanted to go back to his bed and he fell asleep. So we're back in business. That is literally what just happened. All right. Sorry. It's hard to switch gears sometimes. All right. Zane Powers asks, what's worse, Ashton Kutcher, this or Danny? What's worse for Ashton Kutcher, this or Danny? I assume you mean Stoner Cats. I think Danny Masterson. Also, it's like everything is going to come out about that 70s show and how shitty they were to Topher Grace. But cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you. And just like how, I don't know. Anyway, why is it? No, don't. Okay. Never apologize for being a concerned parent. Thank you, Nathaniel Foga. Nathaniel Foga is killing it tonight. All right. Anyway, baby's okay. Don't worry. Just because I'm talking so much, I didn't hear. I think that went on probably longer than I would have liked, but what can you do? I don't hear him now, so I think we're okay. Sometimes he's sleep regressions. You don't want to get into that. All right. Questions, Patreon questions from Nathaniel Foga. Here we go. First says, what do you feel is the bizarrely weird what did you feel is the most, I think it, maybe I copied it wrong, the most bizarrely weird marketing campaign for a film? I remember one for Chronicle, and I still think about this, where they put like drones, but they put like people, so it looked like the outline of people flying to promote Chronicle, and I was like, but how does that do that though? The other one I remember, and I thought I was making it up, but I mentioned it, and my uncle was like, oh no, I saw that too. It was in the 90s, and someone, I guess whoever made Con Air, had I saw this in Maryland at the time, and my Uncle Bob confirmed it. A skywriter wrote Con Air in several different places in Baltimore. And I saw it with a friend, and we thought we were just reading it wrong, because we were like, what? And he was like, man, Con Air must be doing bad. I don't think I think Con Air made money, but it was like very a weird, that one and the Chronicle one is definitely up there, I would say. The Con Air one, I guess, made sense. It was just like, why in Maryland, though? We were all like, I guess I'll see Con Air now. All right. This Cinerama one is a big one, so I'm going to do it. You're a development executive at Disney. Your boss tells you to start work on a new franchise combining a set of characters owned by Disney with another set of characters from a freshly acquired Fox property. Does not have to be animated, but it could be. Which two IPs are you merging? My initial thought for this, I realized I broke the rule of it, was Die Hard with Predator. But I was like, wait, those are two Fox things. That doesn't work. So I'm going to have to think of something because I realized that is wrong. A Disney property. See, I just want to combine Fox things because Disney is just so weird. Let's say Night Museum is also Fox. No, I can't do that. That is a tricky one. What if the X-Men were in the MCU? No, I guess technically, under that question, I could do that. Let's say you could do the kid who would be king with the Sword in the Stone, technically. Right? Am I right about that? Maybe actually Planet of the Apes with Tarzan. That's stupid. Actually, you could have Planet of the Apes and a Tarzan survive somehow. Maybe also, man, this is a tricky one. maybe Avatar with Treasure Planet. Yeah, I like that. Okay, there we go. I think I did well. I still like Die Hard with Predator. I think that would work really well. Or John McClane gets frozen with the aliens. That'd be cool too. Well, you're not doing anything with Die Hard, although you can't do John McClane because Bruce Willis is retired. Jordan Bouchard says, what amusement or water parks have you enjoyed going to the most, if any? I didn't really go to any water parks. We didn't do amusement parks a lot as a kid. We went to Hershey Park once, and I didn't really do rides. But we do go to my family that I have kids. Is Coney Island. We go every year. I did not get to go this summer, which fucking sucks. Actually, we were going to go, and then I tested positive for COVID, and I was already probably going to stay home. I love Coney Island. It's so much fun. Hey, Commandy rules, Zodberg. I don't care. But they should make a Commandy movie, frankly. But yeah, I would say Coney Island. Coney Island, is it Luna Park? Or what's the other one? The Wonder Wheel thing? I forget. There's a couple parks, and I always forget all of them. I know, Austin, you're next. Don't worry. Austin says, hey, Jim, what a great show. I saw this documentary at TIFF that was really good called The Contestant. I was wondering, what are some of your favorite documentaries? Okay. There are a lot of them, actually. The one that I always recommend and is legitimately like makes me think about film, and I've probably talked about it before, is probably one of the greatest movies of the 2010s, which is called The Arbor. It is really good. It's about a female, this playwright in England, and it basically gets into what is universal truth, because you have her work is based on her life. And so you have recreations of her plays, while also people recounting these things that happen in real life, while also interviews with her, and they're also recreating them in film. And it gets into the idea of truth in a way that I think is really great. I love The Fog of War. I think Earl Morris is a great documentary now, which is obviously not a real documentary, but I love that. I would also... The Arbor is one of my favorites. Earl Morris is, of course, great. There's one that's called Leviathan that I saw that's just kind of like a weird, moody, like show doing close-ups on a shipping a clam ship and stuff. I think I'll just go with those. I could Hoop Dreams. I love Hoop Dreams. The Spike Lee documentary about Katrina is one I really love. Even his 9/11 thing in his New York thing was really great. I think that's it. Okay, there we go. I think, but the Arbor's legitimately really, really, really good. Okay, where did the questions start? I should really put a thing in the chat so I can remember this stuff. I think Jacob Shelter is the first one, and let's just try to do a bunch for the next 10 or so minutes. Will you give, Jacob Shelter says, will you give the unaired Blues Clues pilot Blues Prince a watch? So when Blues Clues came out, I was like 14, so I didn't really I don't have nostalgia for Blues Clues. Like, I was a teenager. It was a thing my little brother watched. It's like okay, but I just don't have the background with that show. My kids, I Paramount Plus and Pluto advertises a lot, and they've never really requested it. If they wanted to, I'd let them watch it. It seems cool. But I just don't think I would, just because I don't think I would have great insight. I think that's for you guys. It's not really for me necessarily. If my kids got into it and I had more of a background, but like when I watched it with my brother, and I'd usually leave the room at a certain point because I was just getting the age where it's like, oh, that's kid stuff. So I don't think I would review it just because I don't have that. I don't have the background. I don't want to be dishonest or something like that. So, but I'm glad they found it. I'm glad you're all excited. So all those like later 90s kid stuff that I hear you guys talk about, that's cool, but I just didn't. on Sesame Street, I can kind of watch because I've seen so much of that stuff. But like even from that era, but like the rest of it, I'm like, I didn't really, I watched Teletubbies with some stoners and stuff like that. That I sort of remember, but the rest, I just don't. I'm sorry about that one. Cornbread says, a bit of a heavy one. Do you think there are any foreseeable future where the entertainment industry can fix to anywhere close to what it was without changing capitalism? I do think things will get better. I think we're not going to see like what we saw from the entertainment industry in 2010. I think it's going to take like a decade to get back there. I think it's going to be rough. Like after the strike's over, we all know it's going to be rough. So I don't see it repairing itself and getting on better track for like 2 years after that. So I would say 2025, 2026 right now, to be all honest. But I think the other thing about it, and this isn't a documentary, but it's a Soderbergh film, High Flying Bird, talked a lot about how the main thing that's keeping people in the entertainment industry where it is money. And if you take that money away, there's alternate ways of distribution now. Like, I couldn't do this show on TV for 2 hours and go, calm my son down and stuff. Like, that's not what happens. But distribution has changed. So I can see more of these people who are fired from the entertainment industry making YouTube channels, making, going on the, whatever the, sorry, whatever the video cameras use or whatever, but finding other avenues. So I can see that happening. I can see it being democratized quite frequently. I can see these companies having a problem because what I've often thought is, what if the next big creative director who's super creative doesn't want anything to do with the studios? What do they do? And I can see that more happening now than I did before. Although I think it should have happened before, but that's whatever. Question: what is your favorite classic Toho science fiction kaiju movie that doesn't star Godzilla? I love the original Rodan film from 1956. I don't know as many of those, to be perfectly honest. I more know the Godzilla ones. I've seen a few, and there's no one I would say is my favorite. I've seen Rodan. I guess I used to like the old Gamers as a kid. I did used to really like the old Gamers as a kid, so I'm going to say the Gamers. We used to like those a lot. I know the Mystery Science Theater did them also, but I watched them without Mystery Science Theater. I would probably say any of the old Gamers. But I don't have as much familiarity. I wish I did. I really like the Godzilla movies, though. But I wish I knew more about kaiju. We need to watch more Godzilla stuff again around here. Zane Powers, worst instance of someone giving a bad review by purely a sounds like a you problem. If you're a good critic, like Pauline Kael, didn't like Halloween, and I think it's a really good review of Halloween, actually. But I often, when I talk to anyone about like a superhero movie, I'm just like, this isn't a superhero movie problem. This is like you being weird and like having problems with action sequences. I hear that one a lot. I can't think of what I do know. It's usually like some weird bias someone has. Actually, okay, no. All of Ebert's reviews of horror movies in the 80s, it's like, dude, and a lot of these critics who like hated that stuff, that sounds like a you problem. I would say that. Quicksilver asks, what are some of your guilty pleasures when it comes to movies or TV shows? In my case, some of mine are Code Monkeys, Drew Carey Show, Squad Bots, Super Show, and Mallrats. Masters of the Universe, probably. I like watch that almost every year or every couple of years. That would be, I guess, a guilty pleasure. The live action movie with Dolph Lundgren. And I love Dolph Lundgren in general. Zane Powers, Stoner Cats or Bored Apes? I'm going to give it to Stoner Cats because I don't know what the fuck the Bored Apes are about. Like, at least, like, here's the thing with Stoner Cats. They're cats that are stoned. I understand. Apes that are bored? Why are they bored? Why are they on yachts? Like, what is the fucking point? What are you doing with that? Like, what, like, cats that are stoned, Stoner Cats. They're cats that are, I get it. Bored apes, like, what are they, why are they bored? Why are these bored things why are they on a yacht? I don't get it. I never got that shit. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, have you ever considered releasing these in audio format or is that just not viable? That is a good question. I do think about it because there are streams like John Roca's, as you know, I like Jeff Snyder. I don't always agree with him, but he's a good reporter. They release theirs not always efficiently, but on Spotify. The thing is with that is, it's just a time issue. It's hard enough for me to be able to do this, and that's just an extra step. I know I need to figure it out. I've often thought maybe it's not super hard, and it's not too hard to come up with, just release the audio and have a Spotify thing. I would like to. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it, but the thing is, like, I'm doing the cartoon, the kids, this and that. If this was ever a bigger operation, I was like a bigger YouTuber and this was my job, I would 100% do that. But as it is now and the scale it is, I don't know when I'll get around to it, but it is something I consider. It's not that it's not viable and I'm like hoarding views. It's honestly just, I have no time ever, It's like I couldn't watch Fiona and Cake, and like I don't have time. I just never have really the time to devote to one, figuring out, and two, doing it. So I'm sure it's pretty easy, but it's just like, I don't think it would come out. It would probably come out like the next day. But I don't know. I don't know how hard or easy that is. It would probably just go to like maybe a few. I don't know. Part of me is like, I haven't figured it out because I don't have the time to figure it out. So at some point I will try to figure it out because I, as myself, if I was a listener, I would want that. So I understand where you guys are coming from, and it's not a thing that I am not doing because I don't give a shit. It's more just because like I have too many things to worry about, kind of thing. So, but I would I would like to do that in the foreseeable future is, I guess, the answer, and I'm thinking about it more and more. Nathaniel Foga, been to any good barcades lately? I have not. I would like to go to a bar. My friend who does all the labels for the beer label KCBC, they were having a party, and I thought about going, but I didn't, just because life. Question, what's up with John DiMaggio and his shows getting so many endings? His biggest two, especially Futurama, like going 4 or 5 Adventure Time, got 3 or 4. What's up? People still want them and they still get watched, so I guess that's what happens. I think that's what it is. Like, shows keep demanding it. So, question: are aliens from Mexico real or not? I mean, it could be. I don't know. Question: favorite pinball machine? There was one. It was like a Mars thing, and I loved it in the 90s. Like Aliens Attack, I think that's what it was called. I used to love it. Nathaniel Foga, favorite Smash Mouth song? I want to say Walking on the Sun, but I think it's probably All Star, if we're all being honest with ourselves. But Walking on the Sun deserves some respect, to be honest with you. That's how I first heard Smash Mouth. Zane Powers, maybe we don't need the strike to end and never get new stuff, because like there's so much media out there. Everyone has enough to last a lifetime. Am I right or am I right? I mean, I would be okay with that, but I think everyone else wouldn't be. And people need to live and stuff. Cornbread, which one was better, that peach Sonic G Full or the Sonic drink you had tonight? I'm going to say the Sonic drink I had tonight is better. I just took a drink of it. Tarzan vs. Predator. That could be cool. I like that Black Saxon one called. Same power. Should I personally care what Body Liquor 6969 thinks about me? I would. Let's see. You see the new Tiny Toons yet? Same powers. I haven't seen any of it. I actually haven't watched old Tiny Toons in a long time, so I kind of need to. I don't know if I will, because I got to rewatch the old one. I can't really even give good context and stuff. Quicksilver, what are some of your favorite? Oh, I think I answered that. Do you believe that every vote counts? I mean, it should. I would like to believe that. Do I think that happens? I mean, that's a different thing. You think, Nathaniel Foy, you think there will be films of recent memory similar to Congo where it had everything going for it for the final product ending up failing? I mean, The Flash, Indiana Jones, Dead Reckoning Part 1. I would say those. Dead Reckoning worked. It just didn't. I was surprised it didn't do as well. It's a decent movie. It's not maybe the greatest Mission Impossible, but Zane Powers, if there's no universal truth, then does that mean racism is just as valid as not being racist? Is that the definition of centrism? No, I think that doesn't work that way, but okay. Zane Powers would be interesting to be having in a philosophy class. Nathaniel Fogg, what's an incredibly thing you'd personally like to see? What's incredibly thing you'd like to see get a biopic? I don't know. I can't think of who I'd want to have a biopic. Maybe like, I wouldn't mind like, I'm surprised there isn't a Fleetwood Mac movie, to be honest with you. Let's do a few and then I think I'm going to end because I have to pee. Jordan Richard asks, have you seen any comedians who stand up live? I have, but no one, like, I've just gone to random ones. I never seen anybody do that. Cornbread asks, what's a piece of lost media you hope never gets found? I don't know. Maybe The Black Cauldron, because I don't really want to have to watch that movie. Again, I don't like it. Let's see. Have I officially gone too edgy? No, you're fine. Why doesn't Scorpion have the living knife thing anymore? Why doesn't he? That sucks. Somebody said the turtle meat. Thank you. Major Mekazawa. Here, let's go to the bottom here. Let's see. Question. Who should fall in love in the next Pixar movie? Maybe like a fan and an air conditioner? I just looked at two things in my room. Oh, that's a good one, Zane Powers. The reporter shot herself. Yeah, I wouldn't want that out, to be honest with you. Oh, it was just in Brooklyn. Why didn't anyone tell me it's so lively? I mean, they should have. It's always stuff going on. Nick Gerard, thoughts on Adult Swim's Learning with Pibby? I didn't know about that, so I don't have any thoughts. Jordan Slavlo, favorite Todd Haynes movie? I guess. Let me make sure. I was getting confused with somebody. That'll be the last one, I think. Todd Haynes. Oh, Velvet Goldmine. Although Far From Heaven's cool. I'm curious about... I have like a very loose connection to him, although we have never met. Alright, I think... Alright, I think that is it. That is good. We went a little over. Are you seeing Saw X? No, because I haven't seen any of the sequels, to be honest with you. Alright, I think that is it for tonight. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being as cool as you are. I hope you guys have a good night and a good weekend and a good Sunday. I'm not sure when the next time we do this. I don't think it'll be next weekend, but we'll see when it is. Hopefully, maybe sooner rather than later. But thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for being cool. And thank you for giving me a laugh this tonight. That was kind of fun. This was fun. And thank you, Sonic. Cheers to everyone who gave a super chat. And cheers to everyone for just being cool people. I will see you all next time when I see you. I think the next video will either be Death Clock or a movie review vote. And yeah, have a good night. Thank you for watching. Give a like if you haven't already. And cheers to all of you. See you next time and subscribe if you would like to. All right, cool. Have a good night.